Hello, dear student. How are you doing today? This is Ms. Rachel from Knowledge School. So today we are going to talk about radical expressions, lesson 7, which is on page 38. And I want you to get ready to write the notes on your notebook because there's a lot of notes that you have to write it on your notebook. So let's get started. So before we start to talk about the radical expression, we have to know what is radical expression, right? So radical expression, when we have radical sign, okay, here it is radical sign, and also if we have an expression under the radical sign, we call both of them radical expression, okay? If we have a radical sign with the expression under it, we call a radical expression. And I think you all know what's the meaning of expressions, right? When we have a number with the variable or just numbers or just variable, we call it the expressions. Okay, student, what is a radical? Okay, radical, an expression that uses a root such as square root, which is we don't write 2, okay? If there is no number here, we call it just square root, okay? And also cube root, we have 3 here, we call it cube root. Here it is, cube root. And the right side, we have parts of radical, okay? So here it is, radical sample. I told you before, radical sample, and we call the number under the radical sample radicand, okay? Radicand. And also we have here index, okay? And if there is number with a radical expression, we call it coefficient of a radical, okay? So here, if the index is not showing, it is implied to be 2, okay? Just like this, just like I told you, if we didn't write any number, we call it square root. I mean, it is square root. Okay, here, radical unit. Positive root, if we have a number that under the square root is positive, we call it positive root. A negative root, if there is a negative sign outside the radical, okay? Positive and negative root also if they are outside the radical, okay? And defined root, I told you last year that if we have a negative sign under the radical, we call it undefined root, okay? Here it is coefficients. If we have 2, here is 1 and 2 coefficients, we call this coefficients, okay? With numbers with variable, we call it coefficient. But if we have a number, we call it constant, okay? And also, how many terms we have here? I think you all know this because last year we took it. I mean, 2x is 1 term plus 4y is 2 term minus 9, which be 3 terms. We have here 3 terms. Okay, estimating square root. This is our lesson about, okay? The other slides are just for information and they were just the notes, okay? And also our lesson is about estimating square roots. How we will solve the square root. I mean, how we will solve the square roots if they're in addition, even in subtraction and division and multiplications. Here is our notes, okay? The first one, in addition and subtraction. If we have ax plus bx equals, will be a plus b and x outside because we have x here and also we have here, okay? For example, if a is 2 and b is 4, okay, then it will be equal to 2 plus 4x. Okay, it will be 6x. This was on addition, and on subtraction also the same thing. Okay, you will just subtract it. For all numbers a greater than 0 and b greater than 0. I told you last year that b must be greater than 0, okay? Greater than 0. Here in addition, a over b, you have to divide the square root to, for a and also for b. The third note, for all non-negative real numbers a and b. A and b is just, for example, any number, okay? They are any number. In multiplication, we have here a square root of x times b square root of x, and you will multiply a by b, but x are the same, okay? X are the same. It will be just 1x, okay? And here, for example, we put it 2 and also 3, and also for x we put it 5. So you will multiply 2 by 3, okay? 2 times 3 will be 6. In x, we have 5 here, the same thing, okay? So it will be just 5. Sorry, I just write it here. X is 5. Okay, student? So easy. If under square root the number given an even number, then we must divide it by 2, then put in absolute value. For example, if we have square root of a power 10, we have to divide it 10 divided by 2, it will be 5, okay? So the square is gone, okay? And have to put just absolute value. This is for even numbers, okay? But if under square root the number given an odd number, if it is odd number, for example here, which 9 is odd number, so we have to separate number 9 to one odd number and the other even number, okay? So 8 is even number. Divide 8 by 2 will be equal to 4, and we will do the same thing as we would do with that a power 10, okay? And a, which is a power 1, which is odd number, it will stay as it is, okay? It's not gonna change. Just for even numbers, we have to divide the power of a by 2. 8 divided by 2 will be a 4, and then we will put in absolute value. Here I have some numbers have a perfect square root, like 0 is 0, 1 is 1, 4 is 2, 9 is 3, 16 is 4. We call these numbers, these numbers have perfect square root, okay? Sorry, I got to put square root here. Okay, they are square root, all of them. Okay, student, open page 39. Okay, we have example 1, simplifying radical expression. Example 1, simplify, which a, 5 square root of 6 minus 2 square root of 6, which square root of 6 and square root of 6 are the same, will be 1 square root of 6, and you will subtract 5 by 2. 5 minus 2 will be 3. 3 square root of 6. Easy, right? It's just you have to simplify. So please try this, try to solve this. It's just like this one, okay? So try to solve it. Okay, student, this was our lesson for today, and I want you to ask me any question that you don't understand it, okay? And good luck.